Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett, and today I am going to get into a video on passive income within crypto. This is part 3. This particular one we will be covering things like reflections, mining, and also the Brave browser. So for this one, let's just get into reflections. Reflections is relatively new, and understanding them, it's a little bit difficult since a lot of people, are just coming into crypto. But basically, you have something that is a transfer fee. Whenever you on decentralized buy, sell, transfer, there tends to be a transaction fee. In most places called as gas. Well, with reflections, it's a little bit different. So what you might see is something like a 10% tax or whatever it may be. And what that basically means is, let's say for example you send $100 worth of coins. If it's a 10% tax, then $10 worth of coins will be needed in order to deal with that transaction, and the stuff will go to wherever the tokenomics tells it to go. So let's look at that. How does most taxes work in reflections? So how it works is it tends to have, you got one big pot, which is the burn pot. And what this is basically where you throw anything there, no one has access to it. So basically it takes it off the market and it basically burns whatever those coins are. It tends to be an actual percentage. So let's just say, for example, the tax that you have to pay to move your coins, buy, sell, is 10%. Then what tends to be is there tends to be several different pots, and you got a burn pot. You might have a some type of development pot, and what this is a pot of the coins that are coming in that can be used to help develop the coin, to help market things and stuff like that. So it basically gives the coin and the foundation around it actual money to do what they need to do. And then finally, a lot of time this goes down to you. So let's say for example there's a 10% tax. A lot of time what would happen is 5% goes to the people, and then the rest of it goes to these two, which will add up obviously to 5% for all of that. So that tends to be how that works. Each coin is different. It literally could be that the majority of the funds goes to, say, a burn wallet, and then the rest of it you have to split up with the development team. It will automatically happen back in. And you just got to look at the tokenomics on the coins and whatnot with that. So I mean, that's a pretty straightforward way of looking at it, is whenever someone deals with a transaction fee, whether they buy, sell, transfer, or do whatever, then you get a kickback from it. But not only you, but everybody gets a kickback from it. Now, what happens with the kickback, how does that work? Is that 5% that's left, what happens is the tax being 10%, whatever it may be, is it will figure out what that 5% needs to be, what it should be, and then divide that by the total amount of coins that are not in the development wallet and not in the burn wallet. Basically anything other than those two, you'll figure out how many coins are supposed to be divided up and give the rewards, the last 5%, towards everybody. And say for example you only get one coin per one coin, then if you're going to hold 100 coins, then you're going to get 100 extra. Whereas if you only hold one, then you're going to get another one. So that should be noted when it comes to that, is is how that particularly works. So, as I mentioned here, the risk is there's a major risk right now in taxes. This is something that if you're like in the United States that doesn't really have good tax laws around crypto, especially things like reflections or even things like VeChain, where you can hold VeChain and automatically get another coin, and it just happens, live. It's not like once a day it gives it just happens live. Well, it becomes about near impossible to accurately report this stuff to the IRS because the system that is provided, the laws we have to follow through, the policy and whatnot, it's not that you want to break it or whatever. It's that you have no choice but to. There's no good way to find out the information that they want. And basically the laws and regulations and all the other stuff is extremely obsolete in this particular area. So, they have to play catch up with it. Now, will they? Who knows? I don't really know. Really don't care at this point. But I'm just telling you right now that this is an actual problem. What a lot of people do is, like at the end of months or whatever, they go ahead and add up the difference between what they had before and the new figure and try to just figure out a generalized price, and that might be good enough. But talk to your accountant just to make sure with all of that. Now, another thing is because Reflections is so new, the what should rewards be as far as what percentage level, what should taxes be, that isn't really known. So that should be noted. It's all up in the air. This stuff, the Reflection's been around for a little while, but it really hadn't done anything until about 2021. And from there, it took off with a number of coins, but there's no long-term data showing how well this works or how bad it is and what number should be what, and that way you can get the max amount or growth or whatever you want. There's none of that, so it's all a guessing game. And because of that, this has caused a bad reputation, especially since a lot of the coins in 2021 and by 2022, they're dead. And some of this is in Reflection, a lot of it isn't. It's just how it is. Now, as far as that goes, let's get into the mining part of things. Basically, what you need to note when it comes to mining is you have a few choices. You can do dedicated hardware. This is going out of style, not like overnight type of situation, but basically with dedicated hardware, the problem with that is the cost and upkeep and all that stuff, but specifically the cost, and if you can make the return just to break even with it, it's up in the air, unless if you're doing it as a business, which at that point you're probably not passive. So that should be noted, that if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you're probably not going to be end up in passive. It's probably going to be very much active. Now, as far as the if you want to do a non-dedicated system, so for example, maybe you got a gaming computer and you want to use that for mining when you're not playing, or maybe you're sleeping or whatever. Well, the fact is you can do that, and it can be extremely passive. So there's other reasons or whatever, but the big thing with this is I like MinerStat, and what MinerStat does is it's a all-in-one place, so you don't have to go and download a bunch of different softwares. It's free for one computer, so note that. If you're not doing anything dedicated, then that should be more than enough for most people. And what you can do is use a profit switcher. Now, the big thing to note is you want to go to the benchmark, and this tells you what stuff is most profitable with your system, depending on what's running. But the profit switcher it basically looks at different coins every so often, and it automatically adjusts it to switch to mining whatever is the most profitable. So for example, if it's Ethereum, then it switches to it. If it's Ravencoin, then it switches to that. So, now as far as other things you need to know is you have mining pools and solo. Mining pools is what most people should honestly be getting involved with if you're going down this path to start with. And what mining pools does is, instead of you relying just on yourself, mining pools relies on everybody within the pool, and it tends to get far better results than just doing it by yourself. So my favorite type is 2 miners. There's many different coins, and then we got Raven Miner for obviously the Raven coin. Now, as far as all that goes, is it profitable? It depends on things. You're looking in some cases a couple dollars a day or more or less. And one of the arguments that does come up against mining is the electrical costs. Depending on the area, this might not be a problem to start with, but one big thing to note is if you have, say, for example, a gaming computer that's staying on 24/7, if you attach something to it to track the electrical, so you can figure out how much electricity is being used, what you're most likely going to find is with a basic mining, you're going to find that it's not that much of a struggle. And if you use it, when you're sleeping or not really active, then more power to you. It helps out that. And just subtract the difference, like find a difference, and that's the actual true cost that you need to meet in order for it to be breaking even on that, which should in theory be quite easy. So as far as the next thing is the Brave browser, which I'm on. It's based on Chrome, and in fact it's like an offshoot of it, and basically you get free cryptocurrency for just surfing the internet. And more than less what happens is the browser projects some advertisements, not horribly so or anything like that in my opinion, but it projects that, and from there you get the rewards for allowing that. So as far as that goes, hopefully this helped you out. Leave a like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next video. Hope you have a great day.